Hi friends, it's time for August Currently Inked. I'm very excited about it. I have 3 or 4 carryover pens from last month, and all the rest are going to be my Robert Oster samples that I have. A lot of these, or at least quite a few of them, I have not ever even inked up, so I'm excited for that. I've seen other people do videos like this where they explore all one brand of ink or all one brand of pen, like all Twisbees or all Sailors or whatever, and I always think that that's such like a fun, cool idea, so I thought that I would do the same, but with inks. If I really enjoy it, which I suspect that I will because I do like these colors, I might do it again next month with like Colorverse or Van Diemen's or Diamine. I have a ton of Diamine inks. That's obviously the most that I have. But yeah, I just think it's a fun idea, something new, something different. I would not necessarily have chosen these particular colors this month because a lot of them are more fall type colors. But I was just looking for something new, something exciting to do. So let's get started. So like I said, I have 4 that are carryovers from last month. The first one is one of them. I only have a little bit left in here, so I'm sure that will run out fairly quickly this month, but I am really enjoying the combination, so I wanted to keep it going as long as I could. And this is, if you watched my last video a few days ago, this is, let me zoom in here, the Diamine Sweet Dreams plus Sailor Yozakura. It performs so nicely in this pen. Sweet Dreams is a very wet ink. This nib is not a dry nib by any means, but it is a finer nib, so the two go together very well. So yeah, I really have enjoyed this. This has been one of my favorite combos over the last month. I've used it quite a bit in my planner. The next one I just inked up a couple weeks ago, maybe mid-July. It wasn't in my July Currently Inked, I know that for sure. And it's Damine Tranquility, which is another Ink Vent ink, plus Urban Bouquet d'Anton. And Bouquet d'Anton, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong, is a very light pink ink that I knew that I wasn't going to like on its own. It also felt really dry. And I wasn't really trying to get this color. I don't know what I was going for, but it wasn't this. But I was very pleasantly surprised at the way that this turned out because I think it's such a beautiful lavender. And it has a little bit of shimmer from the Tranquility, but not too strong. And it's wet flowing, like it feels really nice to write with, and I have quite a lot in there, so I think I'm going to keep that going too, although every time I say that I end up uninking things, so probably shouldn't say. Anyways, this is the Benu Talisman in Peacock Ore. This was one of my birthday pens in June, and I have really, really been loving it. I feel that this is one of my top 5 favorite pens now. The nib is just so good. It's like, I love the feedback sound, which I'll stop yapping when I'm writing so that you can hear it. But it's so smooth and so juicy. Like, I just love this nib so much. And obviously the pen is absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to match the purple in the pen with this fill. This is also one of my bottled inks, and I've been wanting to make sure I'm using those bottled inks and not just letting them sit there, but it is such a really happy, bright, saturated, wet purple. I love it a lot. Okay, so all the rest of these are new this month. They are, well, actually, there's one Robert Oster carryover that's coming up, and then there's one at the very end that is also a carryover, but I just wanted it at the end because of the color gradient. So the next one anyways is the Asine P20. This is one of the new colorways. I think it's called Hawaii, And I was talking in my last video about how I wasn't really happy with the nib that came on it. And then I bought a replacement pack of nibs, and the nib that I got out of there felt like it had baby's bottom because it kept hard starting. Well, when I was going to ink this up, I thought, let me try the original nib that it came with, which was an extra fine. It just had written very dry. I did try to like open the tines with a brass shim like a bit ago, and that didn't really seem to help. But while I was inking all the other pens, I thought, let me just put that shim in there and let it sit for like 10 minutes. And that really seems to have worked, in combination with the fact that this ink is very wet, it seems like. So yeah, the combo of the wet ink and I think opening those tines for an extended amount of time really seemed to help. And now it's writing perfectly. So this is Robert Oster Bondi Blue. I'm so surprised at myself how much I'm starting to enjoy blue inks. Like this, you would have never caught me writing with a blue ink like this, even last year or a few months ago. So Asine P20, this is an extra fine nib, and this is called the Blue Yellow Gradient, I think, on Amazon. So, but yeah, very wet. I'm very, very happy that that nib opened up, and I think it matches well. The next one is the other Asine that I got before that last one. I had inked this up with a Kobe ink when I first got it, but I just wasn't really feeling the ink, so I had uninked it, and I had intended to use it again very soon, and here we are. This is Robert Oster Blood Rose. Oops. And it has like a light pink shimmer. I've never inked this one up either, and it is super wet, which surprised me, because Robert Oster inks tend to be quite dry in my experience, or at least on the dry side, if anything. And especially for a shimmer ink, this one is really wet. So, and also this nib seems to be very wet as well. So yeah. Super duper wet. Okay. Next is one of the carryovers from last month, but it is a Robert Oster ink, and it is an ink that I've had problems with in other pens in the past, but in this pen, it's been perfect, and that is Rose Gold Antiqua. I love the shade of this pink and the shimmer in it. It's just such a beautiful ink. But yeah, it's definitely clogged some other pens, and this pen, it's doing so, so well in. So this is a Virgo model. It's a fine nib, and it's a red abalone material. This was my first Zodiac pen, and I still love it. It's still so captivating when you like look at it, especially like if you hold it up to the light and just look at it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I think that the pink ink goes very well with like these pinks here in the resin. So gorgeous. I have not used this pen in a while. This is the Jinhao 100 in the, I think it's called Rainbow, is what the body style is called, the resin. And here is a pink that is, this was the reason that I didn't use like Plum Nut and Copper, because I feel like all these pinks, the Rose Gold Antiqua, this one, and then those two, they all look very similar. And then I'm also using Pink Squirrel, which is another one that's kind of similar. So I just didn't want that many like pinks, but I do like this one. This is Dusky Pink. And I did add White Lightning to this. And I added a White Lightning to almost all the other ones as well, because I found that all of these others tended to feel either very dry or on the dry side, and I just don't want to live like that. I just don't want to. But the Dusky Pink looks very nice. It flows very well now with the White Lightning, and I like the color. I don't think I would ever purchase a bottle of this, it does seem very similar to Ferris Wheel Press Spadina Rose or Spadina Rose. I'm sure it's a little bit different, but it's just, I have a whole bottle of that. It's not like remarkable enough for me to buy a bottle. This is quite a Franken pen, and it was by accident. So I had the Sailor 1911 nib in this Sailor Fascine body. This is the Sailor Fascine body that's like one of the cheaper ones on Amazon, but I like the white and rose gold combo. So I had bought the Sailor 1911S, which was more of a like cream colored body, and I had put that nib in here. But then when I was inking this up, I mistakenly put the nib and section from the mini, and I did not mean to do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was kind of bummed when I realized that I did that, because I didn't want to like unink both and like switch them back around. But it is interesting to know that the sections, they all fit into each other's bodies, because this is the Sailor 1911 standard in the mini body. So yeah, I accidentally switched those two. But nevertheless, this is Robert Oster Pink Squirrel. It's obviously a deeper, more purple mauve-y color. I also added White Lightning to this. I mean, it probably would have done better without White Lightning in a broader nib, but this nib is not dry either by any means. And it just felt dry writing, so I just wanted to add it. So this is the Sailor Fascine body with the Pro Gear Slim Mini Medium Fine. Oops. So yeah. Oops, I just smeared all of that. Oh well. But yeah, it's a really pretty color. I do like this one. I might consider getting this. It's a very pretty, like, mauve-y, purpley pink. And with the little tiny bit of White Lightning that I did, it is flowing beautifully, and I'm really enjoying that. And so all I do, I don't have the syringe here, is I take my ink syringe, I dip just the very tip of the syringe into the White Lightning, and then even on the edge of the White Lightning bottle, I'll like wipe it off so that it's just barely coating the nib. And then I dip that nib into the ink vial, the sample vial, and I swirl it around, and that's all I do for that amount of ink, because it's not very much ink in here, and you definitely don't want to do too much. Here is my other birthday pen, Zodiac Gemini, in the Abalone blank. So gorgeous. This one I paired with Robert Oster Shimmer Violet Dreams, which has, I think someone said it was a silver shimmer, but it looks kind of like a gold shimmer to me, like a light gold, like a white gold almost. Anyways, this color matches this resin so beautifully. The purple in it, oh my gosh, it's perfect. Let me move that a little bit. I also added White Lightning to this. It was not feeling very smooth flowing. Robert Oster Violet Dreams, and now it is. It's going beautifully. And this is Zodiac Pen Co. with a fine nib, and it's the Gemini, and it's Abalone. And you can see that now it's quite wet. So this actually reminds me of the ink that I tried in this pen last month, which is Dominant Industry Sunset. That one is like a brighter purple, but I think this one performs so much better. I like it a lot, and look how perfect of a match that is. It's just so pretty. Okay, and the next one is my third and final Zodiac Pen Company pen, which is my newest one, and it is the Cancer model in the Primary Manipulation Light resin. This is the only matte finish one that I have, and I love it so much. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. So this one, I put one of my favorite Robert Oster inks in here, and it is Sydney Darling Harbor. I have had 2 samples of this. This is my second sample. I think it's such a unique, pretty green. It's like a muted sage kind of green, and it goes really well with this resin, you can see. And I had a extra fine nib from Bart, who is the owner and creator of Zodiac Pen Company. And I love the fineness of this. And so I put that on here. But it came with the fine nib, which I also love. But I'm just like really loving the finer, juicier nibs lately. And this is PM Light. And you can see it's still very wet. That's a wet ink. I didn't have to add white lightning to that one. But oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Doesn't this remind you of like the ocean? I know I said that before. I don't know why. Obviously the ocean isn't yellow, but that's just what it reminds me of. Anyways, love that. Okay, next is the Asine B126. And I have inked this with another shimmer ink. This one I have tried before, but it was very cloggy. It clogged my pens quite a bit in the ones that I tried it in. So I added a little bit of white lightning, and then I put it in this pen because I knew that this pen, now in my experience, handles shimmers very, very well. And it is still doing that with this one. It's going very well. I think I added a little bit more white lightning to this one than I did in the others, because either that or just like this nib is so juicy, which it is. It's flowing like extra wet. But yeah, it's really beautiful, like another muted green. So hopefully we'll be able to see some of the shimmer in there once it like fully dries. But yeah, you can see in like the writing, and I did this for one of the other inks too. I think I just might have put like a tad too much, but that's okay. I mean, it's not feathering or anything, and it's definitely not bleeding through, so I'm fine with that. Okay, so this is the Pro Gear Slim Mini that I accidentally put the 1911 nib section in. I'm so mad I did that. But oh well, that's okay. I don't know why that just hard started, because normally it doesn't do that. Maybe I was not holding it right. Okay, so this is Robert Oster Khaki. Oops, that's not right. And where is it? Here it is. This one I got recently, and this is my first time inking it up as well. So this is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Mini with a 1911S medium 14K nib. And this medium nib writes quite broad to me. I was not expecting that when I got it. So yeah, it writes quite broad, but I like it. I like this combo too. I think it's cute. It reminds me of like Moroccan mint tea from Sailor. I don't have that ink, but from seeing it online, this kind of reminds me of that. It's a very yellowy green, but I really like it. And look who's back, the Esterbrook SD. And this has African gold. I think I might have added a little bit too much white lightning to this one too, but that's okay. Again, it's not feathering or bleeding or anything, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, I thought this would be a really nice match for the golden colors in the resin. And it does appear to be. And I haven't used the Esterbrook in a couple months. so it feels nice to use it again. This is the Botanical Garden with a fine nib. And it's writing quite nicely with this ink. Definitely like fall vibes, which a lot of these colors are, because they're the more muted, you know, more warm. I guess these two are really the only really super warm ones, and the next one. But I don't know, when I look at all these together, like it reminds me of fall. Not these up here, just these. So here is the Cafe Bronze Eco. And I had KWZ Honey, and I re-inked it with Robert Oster Cafe Crema, and they look identical. Look at this. Well, hold on, let me write it first. Robert Oster Cafe Crema. And this is the Twisby Crema, or Cafe Bronze. So yeah, if you look here, that's Honey, KWZ Honey, and this is Cafe Bronze, or Cafe Crema, sorry. They're identical. And then over here, I did a little scribble of the Cafe Crema. Look how similar it is. It's like, so yeah, I definitely don't ever need a bottle of that because I have a bottle of honey. And then the last one is Damine Masquerade, which is a carryover, but I just wanted it at the end of the list here for the color gradient. And yeah, I definitely was not ready to unink this because this combo is probably one of my top 5 favorites from maybe even the whole year. It's so stinking pretty and it flows so well. This extra fine nib is so nice. There is nothing I don't like about this combo. Look at that, gorgeous. So there is my August currently inked with all my Robert Oster inks that I have, with the exception of 4, but that's pretty good still. And then a couple of carryovers, but yeah, I am really enjoying this. I like that I still have some bright ones for, you know, the end of summer, even though it's gonna feel like summer here until like November, but I kind of consider August to be the last summer month, feeling wise, not temperature wise, but like the way that I feel like September's like entering into fall. So yeah, I like this color palette. I like the way all of these are performing. This one looks quite wet. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but I do like the color of it. And yeah, we'll see how this month goes, and I'll try to keep these inked and let you guys know at the end of the month how they all went, instead of just changing everything and not being able to report back with a proper report card. Anyways, let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts. I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope you all have a wonderful month. Bye.